Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Ray and today I have an unboxing for you from ORALOA. I got this package in the mail a little while ago. I went ahead and ordered another cross-stitch kit from them because I wanted something a little smaller than what they sent me before, but I've shown before, and I'll put a link to the other unboxing here. But this is what you get when you order a cross-stitch kit from ORALOA. Look at it, it's so pretty. So this one is called White Fox by Natalia Brito Narducci. And I love the colors, I love the subject, of course, love cherry blossoms. It's kind of my thing. So I went ahead and ordered this from the website. I want to show you what's inside. This is a stamped cross-stitch kit that is legally licensed, and I'll have the link to it down below if you want to get one for yourself or browse their designs because they have a lot of different designs available. So here we get this cover page, which has the details of it. And here we have the pattern. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but this is the paper pattern so that you can reference the stamped cross stitch. And I believe that the one that I got is a 14 count. And yes, and it's 2 strands of floss. They just didn't check mark it here, but it is on this paper here, 14 count. And inside we get the canvas itself and all of the stitches, or the threads, like this. Very pretty. So we've got a nice muted palette here, and we've got 1, 2, and 3 little tabs. These numbers right here correspond with the color number that is on the side of the kit and on the pattern itself. So it doesn't tell you the DMC number on this piece of paper, but if we look at the pattern that's included, it has all of the details here. It also tells you what colors to use for backstitch and what color that is on the chart. So that is, they've got the drawing, which is this piece of paper, and then they have printed cloth legend, which is this part right here. So you can use either or both. I like to cross-reference sometimes when I am doing a stamped cross-stitch kit, because sometimes the symbols on the printed cloth is a little harder to read. I'm going to put that to the side and we'll have a look at the cloth itself. So this is the reason, one of the main reasons that I got this one was because of how small it is in comparison to the other kit that I got from ORALOA, which is huge. So this is about, if you're used to doing cross stitch, this is just over 160 stitches on either end. So I think it's 166 stitches. It's not telling me, but it is a 30 by 30. And I am interested in starting this as soon as possible. There's a couple of ways. I'm just going to go ahead and put it here in the video for you so that you can, if you are getting one of these, how would you start? There's a couple of ways that you can do a stamped cross stitch, and no way is better than another. There's usually 3 methods that are used. One is to stitch in hand, and if you're going to stitch in hand, meaning you're not going to use any frame whatsoever, I would recommend starting at the bottom and kind of working your way across like so, depending on, are you left-handed or right-handed? I'm right-handed, so I would go from left to right personally, but it's all personal preference. And then as you're going up, you're gonna roll the fabric like this, it'll make it easier to stitch if you're holding on to the stitches that you've already done right here. Another way is to use scroll rods, which I don't have any right now, but if I did, you would insert this into the scroll rod, and just like that, the rods will turn up as you are working on the project and tension the project so that it is nice and taut. And then the way that I'm going to do this project is I'm going to use a Q-snap. This, you can use an off-brand if you like, but this is a Q-snap. I will go ahead and link one in the description for you if you'd like to get one for yourself if you don't have one already. And the good thing about Q-snap is like you can start wherever you want to on your project. I am not sure where I want to start. Do I want to start in the middle? Do I want to start with the fox's face and work my way out? Or do I want to start down at the bottom corner? Or how do I want to start? I think I'm going to start with the fox's face because it'll be the most fun to stitch. So I'll show you how I do it. I'm going to roll up the fabric, and then you have these clamps that go on the side like that. And then this side, you can fold over any excess fabric. I do this a lot with my counted cross stitch as well. Then put on another clamp on this side. And these are going to make the project nice and tight in the middle. Then you get the sides like so. Oh, it does say 166, haha. And then you pop it on like that. Perfect. So now the fabric is nice and tight in there, and I can get started on stitching. And I think this is going to be super duper cute. If you look carefully, you can see that there are numbers printed in some of the areas. That helps to identify what color you're using in a big splotch of color. So we know that orange is 34. And if we go over here, we look for the number 34, and that is this gorgeous ivory color. Same with this right here, all the pink up here at the top is number 4. And you would go here and you look for it, and number 4 is black. If you're having trouble reading the symbol, so for example, let's say the symbol in the middle is this, on the printed fabric, it is a kind of quarter stitch looking thing, a triangle in facing the bottom right corner. So we would go here where it says printed cloth legend, and we would look for the symbol that is burgundy or red that has the corner in the bottom right, and that one I think is number 13, which is 712. And I can double check that by opening up my booklet, which I cannot show you, but I would open up my booklet and I would just double check to see what symbol do they say it is. On the printed chart, it is the letter C, and the letter C is number 13, so it does match. So then I would go over here, look for number 13, and you can see it is right here. Sorry. So that is how I do a printed cross stitch. Again, this is a 14 count. So with the 14 count, you'd have to be careful because on the website there are a couple different versions. You can get an 11 count for some designs, and you would use 3 threads. So with this one, with the 14 count, you're just using 2 strands. So if I were to go in, I could go and get that number 13, pull a strand, just like that. And then depending on how long you like your threads, I personally would only use half of this. So I'm gonna grab some embroidery scissors. I don't have any next to me, that's strange. Cut it in half. And then you're gonna wanna separate the strands. So for, like I said, for 14 count, it is typically 2 strands. If you use any more than what they say, you're going to run into a problem where you might run out of thread. So you don't want to do that. And then our kit comes with 2 needles here, but I personally don't like how big these needles are, and I don't like how they glide through the fabric. So I'm going to use my own needle. This is a size 26 needle, and you can either use a needle threader or you can just use your fingers. I just pinch. There's nothing too hard about it. Once you get used to it, just pinch those threads between your thumb and your forefinger and slide the needle down on top. Then you're going to want to look for the symbol. And like I said, this one is the, you know, that symbol that is the red in the corner. And I've seen a couple of videos on this. I am not an expert on the method that some of these people use for pin stitching and stuff like that. Some of the videos that I've watched, they pierce the Ada in the middle, and then they leave just the smallest amount in the front. I don't like to do that. I'm going to just go through the back, and I'm going to hold on to the back of my work here. So we're going to pull it through, and there's just going to be a little tail here at the back. That's going to get buried by our stitches. So we're looking for the next hole. If you are looking for a tutorial on how to cross stitch, I will go ahead and link it in the eye and down below so that you can see how to do a full cross. But really the most important thing is that when you're first starting, if this is your first ever stitch, you're going to want to make sure that you're making your X's in the same direction. So I make mine in probably the opposite from the royal school of, you know, cross stitch or whatever embroidery. But it doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. So you just continue to make X's over that symbol using the color that is designated in the chart. And when you are finished with your entire project, you're going to wash this. So you're going to, once you make sure that you have no more holes, no more colors to fill in, it's completely done, you're going to take this into the sink and you're going to place it in some warm water. You're going to let it soak and swish it around a little bit, but just make sure that you don't rough up the stitches. It's going to rinse the background off. So be very, very careful when you're working on your project. You don't want to get anything wet on it. So you don't want to drip any condensation from a cold drink or, you know, get coffee or anything. It's going to erase the print on your fabric. So just be very, very careful. If that happens, you can use the printed chart to help you, and you'll have to count a little bit, but it's still doable. That's why they give you both, you know, the canvas that has the print on it, and they give you the printed chart just in case, because it does happen, and it happens to even the most careful stitchers. So don't beat yourself up about it if it happens. But that is my new ORALOA cross stitch called White Fox. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye!